Hello and welcome to another week of the Review Update. As always, I'm your host, Tanner Heath. This week, we have student body election results, spring break next week, and of course, Wolverine sports. Last week on the Review Update, we mentioned that student body elections were going on. Well, the results are in, and here they are. Your new student body president come April is Karen Magna, vice president is Bryson Finley, VP of Academic Senate is Dylan Christensen, and the VP of Activities is Hayden Harward. Congratulations to our newly elected candidates. Spring break is upon us next week, March 8th through the 14th. We at the Review want to remind you to be safe, be smart, but also remember to have some fun if you are traveling. Wolverine sports. We start with softball going 1-2 at SUU last weekend. They will now head to Vegas this weekend for the Boyd Gaming Classic tournament. Baseball's back on the field this weekend after being off last weekend. This weekend they'll head to California to face Cal Poly for a 3-game series. Women's basketball is currently riding a 5-game winning streak heading into the WAC tournament next week. They finished off their regular season this week against Tarleton State on the road. Men's basketball swept UT Rio Grande Valley last weekend in their final home series. They'll head to Phoenix this weekend to take on Grand Canyon, where the regular season WAC title will be decided. It would be UVU's first WAC regular season title since the 2013-2014 season. Wrestling is back in action this weekend after they were off last week, getting ready for the Big 12 Championships happening this weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Best of luck to those competing there. Track and field is back in action this weekend as they head to Vegas for the UNLV Spring Opener. Men's golf has been in action recently, and they will be back next week for the Bandon Dunes Classic Championships in Bend, Oregon. Women's golf has been going with their season recently as well. They will be back in action next weekend for the Lady Thunderbird Invite at SUU. Women's soccer swept New Mexico State last weekend in Harriman, Utah. This weekend, they'll be in action against UT Rio Grande Valley in Texas, with the first game being on Thursday before you see this, the next being on Saturday. Men's soccer was in action last weekend against Air Force, where they won 3-1 in Colorado. They'll be taking on UT Rio Grande Valley Friday, today, when you see this, at Clyde Field. Volleyball recently swept Dixie State down in St. George this week, and they'll be taking on New Mexico State next week here in Orem on Monday and Tuesday. That's all we have for you for the review update this week. To check out these great stories more in depth and more great articles, head to the UVU Review website today, the independent student voice of UVU. Once again, I'm your host, Tanner Heath, signing off. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time back here on the Review Update.